This is how you go from broke to having your first 2 grand in the bank and never being broke again. $2,000. That's the number that changes everything. I know that sounds small. I know some of you are watching this thinking 2 grand. That's nothing. But I've been at negative $400 in a checking account, overdraft fees stacking up, car about to get repoed. I've been at that first 2 grand that never got touched, and I've been at 6 figures liquid. And I'm telling you straight, the jump from broke to $2,000 saved is harder mentally than any jump after it. Everything after that gets easier. This one's the hardest, and it's the one nobody actually walks you through step by step. So that's what we're doing today. Here's why 2 grand specifically. It's not retirement money. It's not your rich money. It won't fix your life. What it does is break the cycle where your car breaks down, you put it on a credit card at 29% interest, and now you're paying for that repair for the next 2 years. $2,000 is the difference between an emergency being a bad week and an emergency being a financial event that follows you for years. That's it. That's the whole game at this stage. Not building wealth yet, just stopping the bleeding. And look, the sooner you get here, the sooner you're out of survival mode and into building mode, where your money actually starts working for you instead of just plugging holes. But I don't care if you're at zero right now. I don't care if you're negative. I don't care if you've got debt collectors calling you 3 times a day. Every single person watching this can be at $2,000 saved in 90 days if you follow exactly what I'm about to lay out. No fluff, 7 steps. Before I get into it, comment your number right now. Not what you wish it was, the real one. Could be negative 800, could be 0, could be you've got $300 and you're terrified to touch it. There's no right or wrong number here. I just want you to actually type it out and be honest with yourself, because most people never even do that part. Okay, step 1. You need to know your actual number. Not your guess, your actual number. Most broke people are broke partly because they're flying blind. They genuinely don't know if they're negative 200 or negative 2,000 at any given moment, and that fog is what keeps you stuck because you can't fix a number you refuse to look at. So today, not this week, today, pull up every account, every credit card, every buy now, pay later thing you forgot about, and write down the real total. I did this myself back when I was underwater, and the number was worse than I thought. I was guessing I owed maybe $1,100 and it was closer to $2,800 once I actually added it up. That gap between what you think and what's real, that's usually $1,000 or more, and you cannot out-earn or out-save a number you don't know exists. Step 2. Cut the leaks before you touch income. This is different from budgeting, which is a word that makes people shut down. I'm talking about specific leaks, subscriptions you forgot you have. The average person has 3 to 4 they're not using. That's $40 to $60 a month gone for nothing. Food delivery apps, every DoorDash order is basically a $15 to $20 tax on being tired. Bank fees, overdraft fees, these are the worst ones because they're literally a penalty for being broke, $25 to $35 a pop. And if you're broke, you're probably eating 2 or 3 of these a month without noticing. Go through your last 2 months of statements line by line and kill anything that's not rent, utilities, minimum debt payments, or actual food. This isn't forever. This is 60 to 90 days of being genuinely annoying about your own spending, not a lifestyle. Step 3. Stop the debt from growing while you fix the base. If you've got high interest debt, credit cards, payday loans, anything above 15-20%, you are not in save mode yet, you're in triage mode. And those are different games. Call the card company. I know that sounds terrifying if you've never done it, but credit card companies negotiate lowered interest rates and payment plans more often than people think, and it costs you nothing but a 20-minute phone call to ask. If you've got multiple cards, stop paying the minimum on all of them evenly. That's actually one of the worst things you can do. Pick the smallest balance, throw every extra dollar at that one specifically while paying minimums on the rest, kill it completely, then roll that payment onto the next one. It's called the snowball for a reason. The momentum matters more than the math here. Because you need psychological wins early or you'll quit. Now, step 4, and this is where I've got to be real with you, because this is usually the step that decides whether someone actually gets to 2 grand or stays stuck for another year. You need one extra income stream, even a small, unglamorous one, for the next 90 days. Not a business, not a brand, a stream. Delivery driving, weekend shifts at a warehouse, selling stuff around your house you're not using. I made almost $400 in one weekend early on, just selling furniture and clothes I hadn't touched in a year. This step is temporary. I want to be clear. This is 90 days of extra hustle, not the rest of your life, but right now at this stage. Cutting costs alone almost never gets you there fast enough. You need income moving in the other direction too. And I'll say this because people always ask me about it in the comments. Don't go chase some get-rich-quick angle here. Don't put your rent money into a meme coin because someone on your feed made it look easy. Don't sign up for some course promising you 6 figures in 90 days while you're still negative on your bank account. 95% of day traders lose money. That's not me being dramatic. That's just a stat. When you're broke, the goal is boring and reliable income, not a lottery ticket. Save the swinging for the fences stuff for after you've got a base under you. Step 5. Automate the $2,000 before you can spend it. This is the step people skip, and it's the reason they never actually get there. As soon as any extra money hits, from cutting costs, from the extra income, from anything, it needs to move to a separate account, same day, before your brain gets a vote, not your checking account where it can quietly disappear into random purchases. A separate savings account, ideally one that's slightly annoying to transfer out of. I opened a totally separate bank at a different institution specifically because it made pulling money back out take an extra day, and that one day of friction saved me from myself more times than I can count. Set it up so a fixed amount, even if it's only $40 or $50 a paycheck to start, moves automatically. You are not going to save your way to $2,000 by deciding to be disciplined every single day. Discipline is unreliable. Automation isn't. Now, I want to pause here for a second because I know some of you are past the basics. You've already cut the subscriptions, you're already picking up shifts, and you're still stuck, and what you actually need isn't more tips. It's someone looking at your specific numbers and telling you exactly where the leverage is. That's genuinely what me and my team do. We sit down with people, look at their actual situation, and build the real plan instead of a generic one. If that's something you want, there's a link below to apply. No pressure. We only take people where it's actually a good fit, and if it's not, that's fine too. Okay, back to it. Step 6. Build a wall between your $2,000 and your everyday spending. Once that number starts climbing, 300, 600, 1,000, this is exactly when people sabotage themselves. Because for the first time in a while, they've got a cushion, and a cushion feels like permission to relax a little. It's not. A concert ticket here, a nicer dinner there, and suddenly your $2,000 goal quietly becomes an $800 goal again. The wall is simple. That account is not linked to your debit card. You don't check the balance for fun. And you tell yourself explicitly this money doesn't exist for spending, it exists for emergencies only. I still do a version of this today at a much bigger scale, and the principle hasn't changed since I had $400 to my name. Step 7, and this is the hardest one, hands down harder than any of the cutting or the extra shifts. Do not let a single windfall talk you out of the goal. Tax refund, bonus at work, a gift from family, selling something for more than you expected. Broke mode trains your brain to see any lump of cash as finally, I can breathe and buy something, and that instinct is exactly what keeps people cycling in and out of broke for years instead of getting out once and staying out. I remember getting a $1,200 refund back when I was maybe $1,100 into this exact process, and every part of me wanted to get new tires, get a few things I've been putting off, treat myself a little since I'd earned it. I put it straight into the account instead, and that one decision is what took me from $1,100 to almost $2,300 in a single week instead of dragging out for another 2 months. The people who actually break the broke cycle for good are the ones who treat every windfall as fuel for the goal, not a reward for suffering. The ones who don't, they get close, get a bonus, buy something nice, and reset back to zero. I've watched it happen to people over and over. So let's run it back. 7 steps. Know your real number. Cut the leaks. Stop the high interest debt from growing. Add one temporary income stream. Automate the savings so you don't get a vote. Build a wall around that account once it starts growing, and don't let a windfall talk you out of the finish line. Here's the bigger picture, and I'll keep this short. $2,000 sitting in an account doing nothing isn't the actual point, it's the foundation. Once you've got that base and you're not living emergency to emergency anymore, that's when you can start actually investing. Actually taking calculated risks with your career or a side business, actually thinking 5 years out instead of 5 days out. Money that used to go toward putting out fires starts going toward building something. That shift from reactive to strategic, that's worth way more than the $2,000 itself. And before I let you go, don't let anyone talk you into skipping this stage. I see it all the time. Someone broke gets excited about investing or crypto or passive income before they've even got a buffer, and one bad month wipes out months of progress because they had zero cushion to absorb it. Boring and broke free beats exciting and still stuck every single time. I know this stretch is genuinely hard. I'm not going to pretend it's not. 90 days of being careful with money when you're already stressed about money is rough, but I want to see you get through it. You've got this. We'll see you in the next one.